Hello and welcome. You're watching News 9. I'm Shweta Kothari. We're bringing you all the top stories here at the start of the bulletin. In Belgavi, Karnataka, a woman was forcibly taken from her home. She was stripped, tied to a pole and assaulted on Sunday night by the family of a girl with whom her son had eloped, according to a police report. The police says that the woman's son had been in a relationship with the girl, prompting the girl's family to take such a heinous act. The family forcibly dragged the boy's mother outside and assaulted her. Now, Karnataka Home Minister G. Parmeshwara visited the woman's house and spoke about the incident as well.
Unfortunate that it happened. One boy about 24 years old, he fell in love with, another girl from the same village, same community. They have ran away together. So, in retaliation, the girl's parents went and, destroyed the house of the boys and forcefully taken the mother of the boy and, removed her clothes and tied up to an electric pole. All this has happened. It's unfortunate. Immediately our police went and rescued. They have brought that lady to the hospital. We have registered a case. We have already arrested about 7 people. And further investigation is going on. We are also trying to find where this boy and the girl have ran away.
So action will be taken?
Yes, of course. The action has already been taken. They have been arrested. 7 people have been arrested. And, further investigation is on. And we will definitely do whatever necessary to book these people according to law.
Now, several political leaders reacted to the incident, including Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and BJP leader Bharat Shetty.
She was tied to the pole and she was tortured also. See, this shows the failure of the law and order in the state. So we are going to take up that topic also. So the law and order system has failed completely in the state.
And Kerala Governor Arif Mohammed Khan has expressed strong dissatisfaction over members of the Student Federation of India waving black flags at him. He alleged that Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan had deployed individuals to harm him physically. Now, while en route to the airport for a flight to Delhi on Monday, a group of SFI members approached Khan's car, waved black flags at him and shouted slogans. In response to the protest, Khan exited his car, confronted the demonstrators. Blaming the Chief Minister, Khan said that the Chief Minister is orchestrating a conspiracy, sending individuals to cause physical harm to him.
Police have been prevented from acting against these rowdies, criminals. This is a picture which has been published by a Kerala newspaper today. They are standing before in front of the car. They are on the left side of the car. They are on the right side of the car. And this was the 5th incident. On 10th, when I was going to address the young Indians, then they claim that they are going to show black flags, but they try to attack the car. And the surprising thing is that when I come back at the same place, they again do the same thing. It means police did not take any action against them. Police did not ask them to go away from there. And yesterday, at 3 places, before the university, while going from Raj Bhavan to airport, before the university, then in front of the gate of the university. And in fact, in front of the gate of the university, my feeling was that glass pane has been broken. The rods on which they had the black flags they were using those rods to hit the cars. And just now the pictures of the car are being taken and team has been called. If it were not a very high quality car, the glasses would have broken. There are so many scratches. It's a new car. So many scratches. Paint has been scratched. So then when this happened, before the gate of the university, and then this is the scene. When this is the scene, then shall I run over them? I ask my driver to run over them. They are standing in front of the car. How come police is allowing them? And another thing I tell you, they were transported into police vehicles or to all these places. When they were arrested, they were not taken by a bus. They were taken by the jeeps by which they were transported to these places. Who is the Home Minister? Who is the Home Minister? Chief Minister. Everything is being done under his direction. It is he who has hatched this conspiracy, and 3 days before these things have happened, he made a public statement. He said governor is provoking the student. He did not give the instance. By what action I am provoking them? Students are not only, it is not only the SFI. There are so many student organizations. Has any other student organization or student protested?
And shifting focus now, Rajasthan police has arrested a woman in the Karni Sena chief Goga Mehdi's murder case. The police has accused Pooja Saini of supplying weapons and arranging accommodation for one of the shooters implicated in the murder. Now, Pooja, along with her husband Mahindra Meghwal, allegedly furnished weapons to the shooter Nitin Fauji. As per police statements, Fauji stayed in couple's rented flat in Jaipur for almost a week before executing the killing on 5th of December. Now, the two shooters, Nitin Fauji and Rohit Rathore, along with their accomplice Udham Singh, were apprehended by the Chandigarh police and presented before a local court. Meanwhile, NIA has reached Jaipur to probe the gangster terror nexus in the recent killing of the Karni Sena chief. The NIA plans to seek court's permission to interrogate the individuals arrested in connection with the case. Staying on with Rajasthan, the newly elected Rajasthan BJP MLAs will be meeting today to decide the legislative party leader, putting an end to the speculation on who is going to be the next Chief Minister of Rajasthan. Now, Rajnath Singh, the Defence Minister and Party Observer, along with co-observers Vinod Tawde and Saroj Pandey, will be arriving at the 4 p.m. meeting at the party office. Two-time Chief Minister Vasundhara Raje, who campaigned aggressively for the party during the assembly elections, is among the leaders who is contending for the post of Chief Minister. Now, a significant number of BJP MLAs are supporting Raje as a stir unfolded at Vasundhara Raje's residence when 4 MLAs arrived ahead of the Legislative Party meeting. Now, along with Raje, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat and Arjun Ram Menghwal are also in the race. Other names in the race include Ashwini Vaishnav, Sunil Bansal, Om Birla and Om Prakash Mathur, along with 3 MPs who have resigned, Baba Balaknath, Diya Kumari and Kirori Lal Meena. And India's solar exploration takes a leap as the Indian Space Research Organization ISRO reveals captivating images from its Aditya L1 mission. The Solar Ultraviolet Imaging Telescope instrument, activated on 20th of November in 2023 itself, has captured full disk images of the sun near the ultraviolet wavelengths. Developed by the Inter-University Centre for Astronomy and Astrophysics, Pune, in collaboration with ISRO, SWEET allows for unprecedented observation of the sun's lower and middle layers along with atmospheric interference. And that is the image, of course, that has been put out by ISRO, a captivating image captured by Aditya L1. The images on your screens were the ones taken by Aditya L1 prior to the recent image that has now been revealed by ISRO. And that, of course, is the outer surface of the sun. Aditya L1 has captured these beautiful images that you can see on your screen of what the outer surface of sun looks like. Those are the images captured by SWEET, a full disk image of sun. Shifting focus now, Donald Trump maintains a strong position in the 2024 Republican presidential nomination list with 61% support among self-identified Republicans, according to a recent Reuters and Ipsos poll. Now, in comparison, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley trailed with 11% votes each. Entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy had 5% and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie garnered 2%, while 8% were undecided. The poll conducted online between 5th and 11th of December identified 1,689 self-identified Republicans with a credibility interval of plus minus 3 percentage points. The first ballots of the 2024 U.S. elections will be cast in Iowa's Republican caucus on 15th of January. The poll found little evidence that Republican voters are swayed by the battery of federal and state criminal charges against Trump. The European Union's 27 leaders could decide at a summit this week whether to launch a formal membership talks with Ukraine, a step that would provide a much-needed boost for Kyiv amid uncertainty over the future of the vital wartime foreign assistance. But what does Ukraine need to keep its bid for membership alive? Take a look.
European Union leaders could decide at a summit this week whether to launch formal membership talks with Ukraine. The step would offer a much-needed boost for the war-torn country and provide some security over future foreign assistance for its defence against Russia. But what hoops must Ukraine jump through to keep its EU dream alive? Brussels offered Kyiv candidate status 4 months after Moscow's February 2022 invasion, prompting an immediate rush by Ukrainian authorities to reform priority areas identified by the European Commission.
I want to tell you how impressed we are by the reforms you've made in the midst of a war.
The Commission reported last month that Ukraine had fulfilled 4 of its 7 recommendations. Most requests were aimed at shoring up the rule of law and include hiring anti-corruption officials, preparing the judiciary for a major overhaul, and aligning media legislation with EU standards. The Commission, which suggested the remaining 3 conditions be met before talks were formally launched, said it would assess Ukraine's progress again next March. By last Friday, lawmakers had passed legislation to meet virtually everyone. But accomplishing short-term requirements is just one part of the bid. The Commission has made sweeping policy change suggestions across multiple sectors by the end of 2024, covering areas from public administration to food safety. Ukraine is expected to prove its fight against graft, intensify its crackdown on large-scale illegal smuggling, reform law enforcement, and find ways to reintegrate displaced Ukrainians into the labour market to bolster the economy. There are a number of more granular measures too, like improving the country's state statistics collection and getting its intellectual property rights rules in line with those of the EU. Political challenges lie ahead too. Despite the Commission's support, any decision requires the unanimous backing of EU leaders, and not everyone is keen on Ukraine joining. Hungary has emerged as the bloc's top critic of Kyiv's membership bid. European officials say another summit might be needed early next year if leader Viktor Orban continues to resist talks and additional financial support for Ukraine. Some also say that Kyiv's window to push ahead with more reforms may be narrow. An expert from the New Europe Centre think tank in Kyiv says the Western Balkans' protracted membership process shows accession is not always merit-based and equally dependent on intra-bloc politics. And one European diplomat in Kiev, who spoke on condition of anonymity, said it will be crucial for Ukraine to demonstrate steady progress to avoid flagging enthusiasm within the EU. Essentially, the stars need to align on multiple fronts for Ukraine to get a true chance at being the bloc's 28th member.
And shifting focus to Russia now, where Russian opposition politician Alexei Navalny has been removed from the penal colony where he had been imprisoned since the middle of the last year, and his current whereabouts remain unknown.
Russian opposition politician Alexei Navalny has been removed from the penal colony where he had been imprisoned since last year, his allies said on Monday. They say his current whereabouts are unknown. They refused to say where he was transferred, Navalny's spokesperson posted on social media after speaking with staff at the IK6 facility east of Moscow. Aides have been preparing for his expected transfer to a, quote, special regime colony, the harshest grade in Russia's prison system, after he was sentenced in August to an additional 19 years in prison on top of the more than a decade he was already serving. There was no immediate comment from the Kremlin. His disappearance comes at the start of the campaign period for a presidential election in which Vladimir Putin confirmed he would run for another 6-year term. With the Kremlin in full control of state media and able to decide who can and cannot run, the Navalny camp says this is not a real election. Hours after the election announcement last Thursday, the opposition camp posted photos on social media of giant blue billboards it had placed in major cities. Under an innocent-looking greeting of Russia Happy New Year were QR codes leading to Navalny's Not Putin website. But the impact was brief as authorities took down the billboards and blocked access to the site. Russian authorities view Navalny and his supporters as extremists, with links to Western intelligence agencies intent on trying to destabilize Russia. Navalny is by far the best-known figure in Russia's opposition. For years, he has branded Putin and the ruling elite as a gang of crooks and thieves, lampooning them in slick videos watched millions of times on YouTube.
And with that, it's a wrap on the show. We'll be back after a very short, quick break.
The scale of the attack was something that we were surprised at. The LET, it was a kind of, we were called a joint venture of the LET and Pakistan. Interception of communications which took place during the attack confirmed this. My advice to Mr. Manmohan Singh at that point, when he asked me what are the kinds, was that till we were sure there's nothing that we could do. Bombing was certainly not even contemplated at that time. I think I've been probably the longest serving security professional, and I think I know what is the best way to deal with some of these issues. The period between, I would say, 2002 till about 2010, there were a whole lot of attacks. The Pakistanis had set up an organization called the Indian Mujahideen, and we were accustomed to the Pakistan acting, or the Indian Mujahideen acting as a proxy for Pakistan, carrying out various attacks. There were attacks on the trains in Bombay and whatnot. There was some information that was shared by the Americans, that there might be some kind of a problem. David Hadley was a double agent. The Americans did not want him to be fully exposed, so all that he probably shared with the Americans was not shared with us in terms of intelligence. If we had that, I'm sure that we would have been able to deal with the situation far better. So, yes, the scale of the attack surprised us. I would even say shocked us. The Hadley confession came much after the Americans had milked him of everything that he had to do. But that was only confirmation of what we had. It took us a little time. I mean, there was intelligence is anticipation followed by investigation. So the investigation confirmed what we had already anticipated as far as this was concerned. LET was the front end of the attack, and after all, they were trained by the Pakistanis. The ship set out from a harbour in Pakistan and whatnot. So Pakistan's hand was very clear. The fact of the matter is there was no doubt at all that much of this was being masterminded by at least one segment of the Pakistan armed forces. Starting from the Indian Mujahideen, Pakistan had been fully establishing the linkages with the LET and other elements. It was a Pakistan operation. The LET was the front end. Now, where each of the operatives were they all from the LET or from the Pakistan Army is difficult to establish at this point in time. But it was clearly an operation masterminded by Pakistan and using the capacity or capability of the LET. Pakistan is now covering itself by saying that it was a rogue operation and whatnot. From David Hadley's confession, it's obvious that he knew that it was a planned operation and it was not run by a few rogues, etc. So there's nothing more to be said on that. I don't think the India of that time did not believe in killing people without proof of what. We could identify where the terrorists who took part in the attack took place. We would have gone after them. At the time that this happened, we didn't have enough information as to where these people were holed up. So carry out a retaliation that sometimes is being done today by various countries, not excluding India, that you carry out an attack. It will be exactly like what Pakistan did to us in Mumbai, killing people or killing children for no rhyme or reason.
I can't say that we are fully satisfied with the way the process is moving, but we still believe that diplomacy should be given a chance. There is no purpose is served by promoting war hysteria.
We were not looking for an election result. As you can see, and the country voted for the Congress thereafter. 2009, the Congress came back to power with a higher and a bigger majority. The decision was based on humanity. And the government of, the Congress government at that time, of which the Prime Minister Manmohan Singh was the main lead, clearly was conscious of the fact that we are part of humanity and we are not, that because some terrorists has attacked that we should behave like terrorists. We are not Pakistan, we are India. And India has a tradition, it's a great country. For the sake of temporary glory, I don't think we want it. And we have seen what has happened. India has gone up and up and Pakistan has gone down and down. And probably Pakistan will never recover from that. Yes, it doesn't make good copy. But I don't think that running a country is a case of having copy. It does not make great news on television. I am here to protect my country to the extent I can. And after that, those of us, each of our roles were analyzed, assessed, etc. So we do our job. Yes, we had sort of a policy towards Pakistan. Okay, we will not have any dealings. I think that Pakistan suffered tremendously. I know things have changed. I mean, you've heard of Pulwama, you've heard that, but it's for each government to do it. But I think that was a policy, and I think India has certainly benefited from that. Do you think that we should behave like Israel, what Israel is doing for what Hamas is doing? What are they doing? They're killing. I certainly don't believe it. I'm no longer the National Security Advisor, but if my advice was taken in 2008, I've done right. I think India has benefited. I think the present National Security Advisor, one of the most outstanding people who's worked closely with me, I leave it to him to judge what he needs to do. We are not trying to sort of, it's very easy. I think the Pakistan army can't stand up to the Indian army today, whatever. But how much harm are we going to cause to people across on both sides if you want to do that? So I think there is a place for India. I think India stands. India today is probably the most respected nation in the world because we have not carried out unnecessary or uncalled for attacks. It stands for certain policies, it stands for certain situations, and I think we have achieved that. 2611 was, I would say, a kind of a one in a decade or 1 in 15 years. You can never be sure whether another terror attack will take place. I do believe that we are much better placed today than we were in. I mean, one of the problems about 2611 was